Tim and Tony podcast brings you
the Mild Manner Movie Review with your host, Tim.
and Tony. On this week's episode, we will be talking about Ted.
Are you not entertained?
Cool party.
Great Scott! I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
Yeah, but don't forget.
Welcome to Earth. I'll be back.
You play ball like a girl!
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Fucking spectacular.
All right.
We'll start with our
Explanation.
explanation of what we did this week. We're continuing our genres. We're in our fourth week, I believe.
Yep.
So this week was a comedy, and I picked Ted. One, it's because I haven't seen it in a while. And it's one of those comedies where it's just, it was due for a rewatch for sure. And kind of because we talked about this last week, how we kind of just do like string actors along. So Mark Wahlberg was in this one, and we had just watched Four Brothers.
Yeah, right after.
Sons
of Katie Elder, yeah.
So I figured, well, let's keep him let's keep him going. But yeah, so that's why we chose Ted this week.
Yeah. And then this week we're going to change it up. We're going to give you guys a little more time on the recasting themes. Yeah. I'll go first with mine.
Yep.
So for John Bennett, I'm going to go Justin Timberlake. Ted, I'm going Bill Murray. That was an easy one. Yeah. Lori, I'm going Kate Hudson.
Okay.
Tammy Lynn, Lisa Kudrow, early like Phoebe,
like
friends.
Phoebe
yeah.
and her twin.
Yeah. And then for Donnie, I'm going Joaquin Phoenix, just from the dancing Joker scene.
Yeah, definitely.
For Rex, I'm going Haley Joel Osment. I guess he played the boss different, but he could still play like jerk.
The creepy jerk.
Yeah. The narrator, Brad Garrett.
I like that one.
That was a good one. That was one of my favorites. Celebrity was tough. So instead of Sam Jones, we just picked they would play like a weird version of themselves.
Right.
But I went Rob Schneider because I could picture them picking like a weird Rob Schneider movie that they love, like The Animal or something like that.
And they just run with that.
Yeah. For Guy, the guy he works with, Steve Zahn from like National Security and what else is he in? It's in a bunch of stuff. Saving Silverman.
Yeah.
And then Thomas, which is his John's boss, Stephen Root. That was easy one too.
Very good list.
Yeah.
Mine, for John, I went with Seth Green. For Ted, I went with Hank Azaria because he could do tons of voices. For Lori, I went with kind of out of left field, but Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah.
You know, Flash and various Disney shows.
Sky High.
Yes. Tammy Lynn, Anne Hathaway.
That's
so kind of like a twist with like her Ocean's 8, where she's kind of like playing like a version of herself.
Yeah.
For Johnny, I went with John Cryer.
That's a good one.
Rex, I went with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that one works very well.
So basically his role in Chef.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
is basically that exact kind of thing. For the narrator, I went with James Woods.
It's a real good one. I like that one.
I kept going back and forth between making him the celebrity or not.
Yeah.
But for my celebrity, I went with Mark Hamill.
You could have switched either of those.
Yeah,
two
either one would go.
Would one.
You know what?
But Mark Hamill.
I think I'm gonna switch it because the other narrator is Patrick Stewart, so we'll keep it space.
Space. Oh, okay. I like that.
Okay, so narrators Mark Hamill and celebrities James Woods. For Guy, the guy he works with, I went with Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay.
And for Thomas, I went with Will Ferrell. his boss. Kind of like a Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah. All right, so we'll reveal our themes at the end.
So we'll give you basically the episode to think about it.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump right into our first segment, a Tim and Tony review of Ted.
Hold on to your butts.
This week we will be talking about John Bennett, a man whose childhood wish of bringing his teddy bear to life came true. Now must decide between keeping the relationship with the bear or his girlfriend, Lori. Okay, so I'll go first this week with my honorable mentions. The as kind of we've been doing lately, but like the special features. We kind of watched like the behind the scenes, how they were making, how they shot everything, Ted being a CG character.
Yeah, that was crazy. They used the bear first, someone miming it with the bear, and then like the little stand or nothing.
Basically,
sometimes.
like a little stand with two
eyes.
eyeballs.
But sometimes it was nothing. They would just,
it was just standing there.
Yeah.
And then they put him in after.
Yeah. And like the work they put into him is like insane.
Oh yeah, like they did 4 or 5 different versions of him each time. First it was like a little bit of hair, then it was more hair, and then it was like, okay, let's put the lights on and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, that and the gag reel was funny.
Yeah.
All the just them improvising their lines. Yeah.
And how they couldn't keep it together for a couple fairly funny scenes.
Yeah. And then you could tell when you're watching the movie that they had to cut it like right there.
Yeah.
Everyone starts dying.
They couldn't hold it together. Another one is how they met / the
both the dancing scenes.
Yeah, both the dancing scenes and then Donnie's dancing scene.
Okay.
So just kind of overall how like they each pictured it going down and Mark Wahlberg's dance moves. And
Chris Brown could do no wrong.
Another honorable mention is it was in Boston and they kind of filmed in actual locations.
Yeah.
It was cool because I saw the movie and then recently I went to Boston. I'm like, oh, this is where they filmed like Ted. And like on the tour, they're like, this is where they filmed Ted and all that. They kind of pointed that out on the tours, so that was kind of cool. And then my number 5 is the Thunder Buddy song and just the scene in general.
Fuck you, Thunder.
You're just God's farts. My number 4 is the music, and I'll add it in the ringtones he has. So he's got the Empire March. He's got Knight Rider.
Yeah. As Ted's.
And I think that was all, and then just the generic one. Mm-hmm. But the music with like the instrumental, so like it's like the big band style that Seth MacFarlane is so into.
Yeah,
like all the music he does, which I think we'll talk about later even. But like the fact that he sings like the Sinatra type like bands and brass and all that stuff, and they implemented it perfectly into the movie, like just all the like the sweeping scenes. My number 3 is the party scene with Sam Jones. I'll just leave it at that. We'll talk about it when you get to it. And then number 2 is all like the Family Guy references, and then the actors in the movie.
Yeah, he just used a bunch of them.
And then just references in general, like the Chris Brown, he's like how Tom Brady could do that.
Yeah.
Just like all like the real world stuff.
Let's go throw up over the overpass. I do not sound like Peter Griffin.
And then just like all the voice actors from Family Guy that they put in the movie. It's Seth MacFarlane definitely works with like a group of people, and they benefited off of him making this movie.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is all the jokes between Ted and John. So like the brewskis.
Otherwise, we'll just sound like a bunch of idiots.
And then just like them like making fun of each other, and then the fight in the hotel room.
Oh God, yeah. Why are you crying? TV crushed my junk.
But yeah, just like their relationship, where it's like, yeah, you can tell that they grew up together, and like they have been friends for 35 years or however, 24 years or something.
Yeah.
But those are my top parts.
All right, mine. Honorable mentions: Thunder Buddies for all the same reasons. The score, I like the big band. It has that Family Guy feel. Like it's very similar. He has very similar.
Even in that one scene, that band was there.
Yeah,
so it's like it's perfect.
Yeah, that style of music's good. And then the white trash name off when John's trying to guess Ted's new girlfriend's name. It's just great. It's just reeling him off. Like, is it one of those ones with the Lynn on the end? Yeah, and then
I got it. Motherfucker.
And he starts guessing it, and Ted tells him, fuck. But in the gag reel, when he's trying to do it, he keeps funny.
Saying the right one first time.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, is it one of those Lynn ones? He's like, Tammy Lynn. He's like, oh, that is it. He's like, yes. That's a great scene. 5, all the donning scenes. I think you have a couple quotes of those. Yeah, so I won't say those, but like him dancing, like you already brought up, it's just, and that was his idea, which is great.
Makes it even better.
And then I think it's A Million Ways to Die in the West. He's in that, and there's one scene where they show him dancing the same way.
I'm sure Seth MacFarlane was like, all right, you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it again. Number 4 is Ted and the hookers. Kind of just him partying in general is always funny. But like the shit on the floor, and they keep like cutting back to it. Like, oh, I touched my thumb. He's like, you're never cooking with that hand again.
Did you get it all?
Or what is it? Hey, you owe me money. Oh, that's my buddy John, not the lobster, the guy operating it. My number 3 is Ted's job and his boss.
Oh, yes.
And like when he's meeting Tammy Lynn's great, he's doing like, he's waving and blowing kisses. Yeah. And then he starts humping the register. And then uses the soap or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we draw the line.
That's a bit too far.
And then the boss, like, no one's ever talked to me like that.
Yeah, when he's interviewing.
You're hired. Shit. And then what is he, you had sex on the produce we sell to the customers? Yeah, I fucked her with a parsnip last week and sold it to a family with small children.
You're promoted.
Something's wrong with you.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Yeah, you got a lot of problems. Number 2 is just Ted and John. And just all the scenes of them just goofing around and, fighting. And yeah, all those are great. Like when he calls them over just to watch the Cheers.
The special features of Cheers.
Yeah. And then like them talking about weed is great. This one's called Mind Rape.
I don't know. It seems pretty mellow to me.
Yeah, she had what is it? Like, this is permanent, and like he names all the ones. They're coming. Yeah, those are great. And then number 1 is the party with Sam Jones. Yeah. Just first of all, him driving there. And
I was going to say, the phone call to get him there, he's like, Sam Jones is here. His hair's parted down the middle.
And then, what is it? When he's driving there, showing the clips from the movie. Oh, and it helped that we watched Flash Gordon right before.
That was the first time I had seen it. So.
Yeah, same with me. So, like, seeing those scenes makes
it
a little funnier.
Direct references.
But him driving there, and then when Flash is walking up and they're playing the song, like, Flash, and then it cuts and he's wearing the jumpsuit from the movie. And then what is it, John? I think that's a great part. It's like, thank you for saving all of us, or every single one of us. And he's like, you're welcome. Oh, he acknowledged it.
I feel like that's how I would be. Like if I met a celebrity, like kind of like when we met the guy from not Shawshank. Remember the Titans?
Oh yeah.
And when you guys went up to him and he's like kind of like acknowledged, like
he giggled. Yeah,
like, he said it. He did it. That's how I would totally be with.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was awesome. And that would be my top 5 then. Or what is it? Or I'll add one more. But when the neighbor shows up,
I was just
I'm a woman being deaf to me. Just tackles
beating him up. Next up, we'll do any problems we had with the movie. I didn't really have any.
Yeah, comedies is
my first problem would have been like not knowing the Flash Gordon references. Yeah, but we took care of that beforehand.
Yeah,
so everything makes much more sense now. So we'll move to favorite quotes then. My first one.
I read your second one. I love that.
Well, we'll start with my first one. Is when Donnie meets Ted in like the back alley, when he's coming out of work.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Well, can I at least get a hug?" And Ted's like, "I hate to tell you no, because I'm a people pleaser, but no."
No.
Like slowly backing away.
Yeah.
My second one that you were mentioning is when John goes to the Christmas party and he's like walking around Rex's place and he's like showing him like all this expensive stuff that he has. He's like, oh, and this is Lance Armstrong's nut.
And he goes into like a whole spiel about like sometimes I look at it.
Right.
And...
Sometimes and he's just kind of like explaining it. And then John just goes, and sometimes you feel like a nut. It's just like a nice little succinct line.
Yeah.
My third one is when
you stole this one from me.
I did, yes. When Ted gets captured and he's playing around with Robert,
yeah.
And he's like trying to convince him like to get away. So he's like, "Oh, let's play hide and seek." And so Robert goes, "Do I need to wash my hands for this game?" And Ted looks at him like, "No, wait, that's a weird fucking question."
Yeah, like at first he's like, "No, wait, what?"
You can see him like thinking like, why would he ask about this? And then my last one is also Robert. It's the first time when they're just in the park trying to smoke the weed that he got.
Yeah.
And then Robert and Donnie walk up to him, and I think John says something to.
He says like,
he's like, "Oh,
sorry,
no,
he's not for sale" or something like that.
You can't have him. And then Robert's just like, stand up straight when you're talking to me. John's like, why the fuck would he say that? Then I go, sorry, you really shouldn't swear in front of children. It's just like a weird interaction between them.
All right. My first one is when Ted gets kidnapped and Lori and John are driving, chasing him, and he's on the phone. He calls 911. He's like, "This guy took my teddy bear." You don't hear anything. He's like, "Hello."
So clearly they hung up.
Yeah. That one's great. And then watching that was one of the ones where they couldn't get Mila Kunis.
They cut immediately after he says his line.
Yeah, you don't even see her when he's doing that part because she was laughing so hard. Number 2 is Ted during the party when he's doing karaoke. He's like, you can sing any 90s song with just vowels. And I love the A-I-O-U.
And it's even funnier because it's 100% true.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Number 3 is when Ted moves into his new place and he's like, John goes like, "Oh, how are the neighbors?" He's like, "Oh, there's an Asian couple next door." He's like, "But they don't got a gong or nothing."
It's like the casual way he throws it in there makes it funnier.
Then my last one is Ted after leaving the party. He's like, "Yeah, I had to get out of there. Yeah, your coworker was making out with that Van Wilder lookalike," and it was Ryan Reynolds, Van Wilder, who doesn't talk at all in the movie. Yeah, there's so many more, but
I was gonna say we've sprinkled them in before we even got to quotes, but I'm sure we won't be finished after. So, but let's move on to some TNT trivia about the movie, starting with Who Am I?
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus.
I'm Batman.
I'm Wayne Brady Betts!
I am your father.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
I am the Clit Commander.
I am Groot.
Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm rich, biatch!
So I will start with my Who Am I? And I am known for, drum roll please. I am known for, it's got to load up. I am known for Men in Black 2, Get Smart, The Bee Movie, and The Emperor's New Groove.
It's was it Patrick Warburton?
Yep. That is correct.
Get Smart. I think that's where I started to think about it.
I was going to say, because Men in Black 2, he
Jaime
is...
and
Yeah.
that, yeah. Then Emperor's New Groove was the
That's
dead
the
giveaway.
dead giveaway, yeah. I think that's my favorite role of his. Not even to mention one of my favorite movies, but still. He studied marine biology at Orange Coast College, where he met his wife, probably before acting.
Yeah.
He was chosen for the title role on The Tick because of his size. The producers were astonished by the size of his crater he left in the couch when he came in to discuss the role. And lastly, from what I'm going to pick, he plays Patrick, your flight attendant, on Soarin' at Walt Disney World's Epcot, and Soarin' in Disneyland. He does a lot of voiceover work.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's got that voice where everyone's like, he can change it slightly, but it's still got that tone of it. But yes, that is my whole thing.
All right. So mine is, they were in Two for the Money, which I think like Val Kilmer's in. Ted, Eagle Eye, and Ted 2. Does not help you at all.
No. I mean, Ted and Ted 2, there's only a handful of carryovers.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But I don't think you're going to get it.
No, I'm not.
I can give you another one.
Well, is it going to give it away?
Yeah.
Then wait. Let me look up who's in Eagle Eye. Because that one I know is going to give me the worst. So yeah, I'm not cheating, but using the resources I have available.
Yeah, slightly cheating.
Slightly. Okay, let me just think about... it's not Mark Wahlberg. I don't think it's Seth MacFarlane.
No, he would... Family Guy would be one of those.
Yeah, that would, yeah.
This person had a smaller role in this movie.
Is it Sam Jones?
No.
Okay.
No, his would be Flash Gordon.
You're right. Oh, wow.
Small early role in the movie.
Small early role.
Like really
not
early.
Patrick Stewart.
I think you know. I mean...
Really early in the movie. First, when they're beating up the kids is the first scene. Oh, is it? Is it Ralph Garman?
Yes. that is correct.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. You even brought him up while we were watching it.
I did. Well, the only thing I know he's in is this and the
Jay and Silent
podcast.
Bob.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
Which
know.
that is one of my facts, that he does a weekly podcast with friend and famous director Kevin Smith called Hollywood Babylon. He was former roommate of Adam Carolla. And along with Adam West's daughter, he was responsible for ensuring that Adam West finally received the recognition he deserved and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which we also
As he
found out
definitely
this
should,
week. Burt Ward will be getting one next year.
Yeah. That'll be cool. Don't worry, Tim's just throwing his phone at them. And now we're watching Flash Gordon. But now for some random facts about the movie. James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli, which is a hilarious name. A very James Bond name, too.
Yeah.
Traditionally never allows any James Bond theme to be used in any other movies. But Seth MacFarlane wrote her a letter asking for permission to use All Time High from Octopussy, as it was his mother's favorite song. And she made a rare exception to her rule. And then John slaughters the tune when he sings it at the concert. Yeah. But yeah, it is just funny because it's like you really don't hear James Bond themes anywhere. My second one is that the episode of SpongeBob that Ted and John are watching in the beginning is Procrastination from the SpongeBob SquarePants Procrastination / I'm With Stupid episode. And it's fitting because they're the two are just lazily chilling on the couch, which makes John late for work. And then my last fact is that the antagonists of the film, Donnie and his son Robert, are named after Mark Wahlberg's brothers in real life. Singer Donnie Wahlberg and actor Robert Wahlberg.
That's funny. All right, mine is okay. So the scene where Ted is on Johnny Carson is an actual episode of Johnny Carson, and the guest is Emmanuel Lewis. And the part where he says, "I thought you'd be taller," and Ted responds, "I thought you'd be funnier." Emmanuel Lewis actually responded, "Me too." So I thought that was funny. And then this was shipped to theaters under the title Thunder Buddies. And then, like I said earlier, the idea of Donnie dancing was Giovanni Ribisi's idea. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts.
Just by watching the movie again as we're recording, the when they're high on coke and they're like, "All right, well let's talk about our restaurant right now. What's the special on Tuesday?
Egg parm." It's going to be non-restrictive. What do you mean?
Of course it is. Why would you bring it up?
What do you mean? Everyone's allowed. Yeah, why would you bring that up? Yeah, Jews included. Yeah, why are you even talking about it? You're the one who brought it up.
They're like running through everything so quick. But yeah, I mean, it's a comedy, so like every couple minutes there's a different scene where they can add in humor and stuff like that.
And if it's got like a real like Family Guy feel to it still. Like there are like the random.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's like the random like jokes that make no sense to the story. But
it's like when in Family Guy they set up like the cutaway where it's like when like this time on X, and then it cuts to like
something
Family Guy in that world. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, like I don't know, like one of the ones that's popping up is like the girls talking about having sex with the boss. Oh, yeah. And like the one's like, "Oh no, I've never been here." Yeah. And like, oh, it was the handicap stall, so it was bigger.
It was big.
Yeah, but then like this scene in particular has a bunch. The party scene has a bunch of those, like the Ryan Reynolds stuff.
Right, like he probably literally on screen maybe 30 seconds and doesn't really say anything. Yeah. So that's just like a favor, or like
or like the random Tom Skerritt, like everyone, like Rex and the other boss both have had pictures with Tom Skerritt, and then he's at the end, it's like, my daughter better be fine, you sick fuck.
That's like one of those where it's like, okay, I got this funny, this one joke that will bring up throughout the movie, and it plays out. Yeah,
but it does have that Family Guy. It's not as much as, I mean, Family Guy.
It's almost like a Family Guy movie without being like a family. Like the fact that they have Flash Gordon throughout the whole thing is like Family Guy did a Flash Gordon episode which I'm surprised they actually haven't done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, other than that, all the special features we talked about.
Yeah. And then when the movie came out, it was like the beginning, towards the beginning of when all these rated R comedies were coming out, and then people were like, "Oh, these are actually really funny," and people are making money.
But that's it for
pretty
me.
much it.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a bunch of stuff we left out, but can't quote the whole thing.
Right? Yeah.
We should just put a link to the movie.
Watch here.
Watch here. But next up, we will reveal our casting themes. So I'll go. Did you go first?
No, you did.
I did. Okay, so I'll go first with mine.
I totally would have never gotten yours.
No, you wouldn't have.
No way.
Yeah, so my theme was actors who have played bears before, and this was literally impossible. I got like the first couple.
I see how like a bunch of yours are just the same movie.
Yeah, I got like Yogi Bear, like those ones were easy, and then like
Jack Black, you probably go through on.
Oh yeah, I could have. He does play a panda, and I stole someone from a movie that.
That's why I looked at.
I didn't even think about him. But so anyways, Justin Timberlake was Boo Boo in Yogi Bear. Bill Murray was Baloo in Jungle Book. Kate Hudson was Mimi in Kung Fu Panda 3. The girls were impossible to find.
Yeah, that
I like could not find any. Let's see. Lisa Kudrow was Ava in Dr. Dolittle 2. See, like I had to go like
you really.
I couldn't even like Google it. Like
actors who have played bears.
Yeah, I was just like looking for movies where people were playing bears then. Joaquin Phoenix was Kene, I don't know, from Brother Bear, the Disney animated movie.
I think I've only seen parts of that.
Yeah. Haley Joel Osment was Barry Barrington from the Country Bears. This one gave me a lot of people to use. Brad Garrett was Fred Betterhead from the Country Bears. Rob Schneider was Norm from Norm of the North.
That
it's
one
like
I definitely never heard of.
Like a knockoff of Madagascar.
Oh, man.
I watched the trailer because I had to see it. It looks so bad. Steve Zahn was in played Archie in Dr. Dolittle 2. And then Stephen Root was Zeb Zuber from the Country Bears. Yeah, you would have never guessed that.
I totally would have never guessed it. And leave in the comments if you guys guessed it, because that would be
impressive,
very impressive. For mine, Seth Green was Chris on Family. I was just gonna go right into it, but mine is actors who have done voices on Family Guy or like guest starred. So for Seth Green, he plays Chris, and he wasn't in Ted.
Yeah,
so
surprised.
Yeah. Hank Azaria, he was in the crossover episode when they did Family Guy and Simpsons. Danielle Panabaker plays James Wood's daughter in an episode.
I did not know that.
I looking at the list, I'm like, I don't recognize a lot of these names, but like their voice, I'm sure I would.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway plays herself / a hot blonde in an episode.
I don't remember that.
Robert Downey Jr. plays the fat guy strangler.
Lois' brother.
Lois' brother.
That one I did know. That's what helped me guess it.
James Woods plays James Woods.
Yep. He's James Wood High School.
Recurring. Yeah, exactly. He's a recurring character. Mark Hamill plays Luke.
Yeah.
In like a bunch of random episodes. Mm-hmm. Neil Patrick Harris plays Barney Stinson in an episode where they reference him. Yeah. And Will Ferrell plays the Black Knight.
I think I remember
they do
that
like
one.
They do like a Knight's Tale episode kind of, and Will Ferrell's the Black Knight.
Yeah, let us know if you guessed them.
Yeah, because I definitely would not have guessed yours, and mine was super obvious.
Yeah, just the first one.
The first one, yeah. I would have had to done that last, and even then, it still would have been like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I recognize a lot of these people. And now it's time for us to rank our top 5 Seth MacFarlane movies. My honorable mentions are American Dad and The Orville. I haven't seen The Orville, so I've heard and like seen clips of it. Mm-hmm. And I know it's good because a lot of people say it is. And American Dad, I never really got into it, but I mean, I've watched a handful of episodes. Yeah. It's good, but it's not one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. My number 5 is Logan Lucky. His like little appearance.
Yeah, he has a little small cameo in it.
Number 4,
is he British race car driver, or is he?
Yeah, I think he does play one of them. And it's even harder too because he does just play like little roles, like little cameo roles. Not even. He's got like a lot of credits, but not. Yeah. They're all like writer, producer, voice.
Yeah,
things
voice
like
in random shows.
Number 4 is A Million Ways to Die in the West. So that's another one he wrote, directed, and starred in, with a bunch of people in it.
Liam
Neeson, Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, she plays like the lead.
I thought that's Charlize Theron.
Okay. Charlize Theron, sorry. I swear, I don't... They're very close. It's fine.
It's fine.
Number 3 was Sing, where he plays the rat. Also sings in that movie.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra. I love that part.
Which I'm sure he's like, I know what I want to sing. And this is what I'm singing. Number 2 is Ted. And number 1, Family Guy.
All right. It's a good list.
And what is your list?
So my honorable mention is A Million Ways to Die in the West. Yeah, it wasn't. It was okay. It was funny. I think the first time I watched it, I was expecting more. Maybe like after watching Ted.
Yeah,
but
right.
it was still good in like different ways.
You're right.
Like,
yeah,
it wasn't. Yeah, I was just expecting Ted in the West,
right.
pretty much. But
which would have been funny.
Yeah. And then Logan Lucky, just because it's a small cameo for him, although he does have some funny parts in it.
Yeah.
Number 5, American Dad. Like, don't watch it regularly, but if it's on TV,
exactly.
I'll watch it. But yeah, I think it's Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely better than Cleveland Show.
Yeah, the Cleveland Show just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like Roger and the dad are great, and Steve.
And isn't Patrick Stewart the head guy?
He's the boss. The CIA. Yeah.
He just loves Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Number 4, Family Guy. Only because I haven't watched it recently, but like the early seasons are great.
I think I've watched like 1 through 11.
Yeah,
and then the more recent ones I really haven't.
Yeah. Number 3, Sing, just because he sings Frank Sinatra, and
it's just a good movie.
It is
overall.
a good movie. Yeah,
a lot of other actors. Yeah, sing.
And then 2, The Orville. That's one of my favorite shows now. It's up there. Yeah. Just it's weird though because like when it first came out, I just assumed it was like Family Guy, but Star Trek. But then because the way they advertised it, they threw in all the jokes. But it's like an actual show though, like a actual sci-fi show. But with like some of his humor in it, like a little bit, not like too much, but like just overboard. Just small stuff. And then, I don't know, it's a great show though. It's very different than what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like the Star Wars Family Guy episodes,
right? Where it's just like
but Star Trek now, yeah. But no, it's good. And then number 1 is Ted and Ted 2. Just for his first directing and co-writing and starring.
And like using groundbreaking technology, basically.
And it just set him up for all these other movies.
A bunch of other stuff,
but those are my top 5. For our last segment, let's talk about the Geek News.
Clark Kent, just a mild-mannered reporter.
He doesn't want to be famous, and I'll make him infamous.
General, haven't you ever heard of freedom of the press?
I'm not a cop. I'm a reporter.
Gossip, rumors, panic in the streets. We're lucky.
Vicky Vale. I'm intrigued by Alex's giant bat story, so I've done some...
Oh, the Batman.
Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
The police won't help. The press has to do the right thing.
You serious?
First up on the docket, we got a trailer for Miracle Workers Dark Ages trailer. Said trailer twice, but so it's like the anthology now. They're not going to continue off of season 1, but
so they're just going to kind of
keep going with the same actors and just keep switching it up.
It's kind of like a Legends of Tomorrow now.
Yeah. Because Steve Buscemi was God in the first season, and like, was it Daniel Radcliffe was an angel? A couple of them were all angels, but this one looks good as Daniel Radcliffe's a prince or a king.
I think he's a prince.
Yeah. But it looks pretty funny. I can't wait. And that's another like TBS comedy.
Yeah, time period comedies are usually pretty funny. Next up, we also got a Black Widow teaser trailer.
I don't even know if you could call it a teaser trailer.
There was a teaser
and then the trailer came out.
But yeah, it's kind of showcasing. I think the consensus is it takes place after Civil War.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where it fits in. A lot of it looked like they used a lot of Infinity War and Endgame era shots of her.
Okay.
Because she's got like the long braided hair and the long red.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they do show like flashbacks she has in Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm. And then you get to see like more of. I think we're going to see a lot of how like she was trained in that kind of era.
Yeah, and David Harbour looks great in it. He looks like he's been funny.
We got a shot of Taskmaster
and her sister and mom. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm guessing Rachel Weisz plays. I would
surrogate mom,
maybe a teacher, I think, or something like that. We will see.
Yeah. Then we got the James Bond No Time to Die trailer as well. This looks really good.
I'm so excited for
that. Everyone's like returning. Felix, what's his name?
Q.
In real life, the guy.
Jeffrey Wright?
Yes. Him, Q, Ben Winshaw. Then we got another 00.
LaShawn Lynch, I think.
Yeah, that looks interesting. And then I like the chick they got for the Bond girl.
Ana de Armas?
Yeah.
Yes. She has been on fire lately.
Yeah. Yeah, but it looks good. And they're bringing back
Christoph Waltz.
And Rami Malek
as the new villain. I'm excited.
Yeah.
James Bond's one of those like sneaky like.
Although I feel like his have gone like all of the Daniel Craig's is like good, mediocre, good, mediocre, and then this one looks like
this one should be good then. I mean, it's wrapping up his line.
Yeah,
so we'll see how that actually ends. We also got Disney released a Mulan trailer.
This looks really
live
good
action.
too.
This looks so cool. They had like the little
very different.
It is because even the Disney movie was not factually correct. So instead of the dragon, it's a phoenix now.
Yeah,
which is more culturally accurate, I guess, is what everyone's saying. But it does look like we'll get a I'll make a man out of you sequence.
He says, "Let's get down to business" in the trailer.
He like says it.
If they gotta sing that song, or at least like play the. You think they play like the
soundtrack,
the beat of it behind it?
They
like,
have to because
while they're training.
Even the trailer had
like
an
it's just like
instrumental.
I would be fine with that.
They have to. That would if they only did that, I would be like
fine.
Perfectly fine. But they even the instrumental throughout the trailer was her song "Reflection." It was just the instrumental, and that was so good.
Then we got The Boys season 2 teaser trailer because that one gave us nothing. It's just a lot of blood,
mostly blood, and just shots of everybody.
Yeah. But that comes out next year. That first season was great. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to this one too. We also got a Lost in Space season 2 trailer, which I guess it's just. I haven't seen the first season, and I don't know much about it, but it looks like
the first one This one seems like they're really lost. Like because the first one they're on one planet the whole time. This one seems like we're going to be going.
They're all over the place. Yeah. So is it basically continuing from the movie? Because the kid's name is Will Robinson.
No, it's the same. That's there was an original show before that movie.
See, I do not know much. I don't think I've seen the movie one.
Really?
Yeah, it's Space Odyssey, right? No, that's even
Lost
a different...
in Space. It's called Lost. They're both.
I'm thinking of a different movie.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of 2001.
No. There's an original show in the 50s or 60s.
Okay.
Oh no, 60s because I think we ranked them before.
We did do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where there's the same family going throughout space, and the kid's got a robot, and it always says "Danger, Will Robinson."
That's what I knew it from. I mixed up.
Yeah, and then the what is it?
2001 is Space Odyssey.
Lost in Space.
Oh, the movie
with Matt LeBlanc.
Nope, definitely not. Then
and who's the guy that plays General Ross?
Willem Hurt.
Yeah, he's in it. There's a bunch of people in that one, and then this is like the third remake or second remake then
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it looks good. This season looks like it's gonna be.
It does look like they're
crazier.
They're moving around a lot more and are actually lost in space.
Next up, we got a Legends of Tomorrow season 5 teaser trailer because that one doesn't give us that much either. But it starts off with the Crisis.
Yeah.
Brandon Routh and the Kingdom Come Superman. And then we see him.
Excited. I'm going to have to stay off the internet for the next 3 days.
Yeah. And then we, what do we see? Him covered in blood blowing up. So I don't know if they're doing I don't know if they're doing the Ant-Man Thanos
Thanos. They have to be some sort of
something like that.
The way they've been doing that the show lately, it has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good though. I mean, they show all the main characters, and like they brought the puppets back, and it looked like Bebo was back, and yeah, it should be a crazy season. And seeing as Crisis is like kind of,
I feel like it's kind of.
I wonder if it's going to keep. I feel like Legends is kind of safe just because they're out in time. They've already changed the timeline multiple times.
Because I saw what you sent me this morning.
Yeah,
like even that's like exactly probably going to happen.
Yeah. What Rip said to him. Yeah.
So that'll be cool to see. But last up, we got a trailer for a movie called Free Guy.
Yes.
With Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Where he plays an NPC in a GTA-style game.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks... He's just walking down the street. People are shooting in the air. Helicopters are crashing. What is it? Like the store owner gets thrown through the window. He's like, Mondays, right?
Yeah, the pets on the back.
Push him back. They just keep getting robbed, and they got their feet up, and they're talking.
So what's going on today?
Yeah, and then it looks like he finally realizes he's in the game and has
like
to be the hero.
He can participate, yeah. Like, he can actually fight back and shoot back and stuff like that. So that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, it looks interesting. And then, was it Taika Waititi? Looks like he's a
game high-up guy,
yeah, developer. It looks like he created the game. And then the guy from Stranger Things, Steve.
Yes, I don't know his name.
It looks like he's also in the real world. Yeah. Whereas everyone else in the movie is
it looks like a 2020 version of Ready Player One, which was 2017.
Yeah.
So
mixed with like Wreck-It Ralph because they're like messing up the game.
Yeah. But it looks hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap up the episode, we'll look ahead to what's coming up for Tim and Tony. So next week our genre will be horror, and we'll be doing The Shining. A little late for Dr. Sleep, but
it is. And we had that conversation, but this is how it randomized out, so we're sticking to it.
Yeah, and neither of us has seen this one, so I mean, seen parts.
We've seen parts of it and know a general story of it.
So that should be interesting to see.
Greek George.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last week we will be doing a superhero movie.
Yes.
Which we'll reveal next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week, what we're actually doing.
And then same as last week, if you listened, we're doing our top 10 finale. So if you have a list you want us to read or you want to record it yourself, we'll throw it in there.
Yes, definitely. Send it to us.
Yeah. It'd be I think it'd be better if you recorded it. Cause
if you record it yourself, it would be funnier.
Yeah.
Just because then we can include that in our recap and then have us talking
like a clip
with
show
it.
of it. Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you want to record them, send them over. Our email's on the website, and all our contact info is on the website as well.
TimandTonyTalk.com, and then I think it's like one of the last pages on the
menu.
Basically our About Us page.
Yeah.
So you can send it to us there.
Or Facebook.
If you have our number, just text it to us.
Yeah.
Send a screenshot of your list if you don't want to record it, but it's up to you.
Yeah, and then keep an eye out after that. Early 2020, we'll be coming out with a new show, Couch Potato Favorites, and hopefully we could get a lot of people on that as well.
Yeah, we're looking for guests on that to talk about
more often than
favorite movies, favorite shows, favorite games, favorite music,
books, music.
Books for sure. Music, I don't think we talked about. I just kind of throw that in there.
Yeah, but yeah, any of that we'll sit down and talk about it. So reach out for that as well. And I think that's it for our show today. Hope you enjoyed it.
You can follow us on social media and our website, timandtonytalk.com. And remember, share this with your friends.
And make sure to join us next week for the Mile Manor Movie Review.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening. I'm Tim.
And I'm Tony. And we are the Dynamic Duo.
Good night.